Hello, Ken. Welcome back. It's my post-game analysis for the Michigan Wolverines versus Rutgers Scarlet Knights game, and yikes is all I can say. Before we get into it, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification down below. Notification bell down below. Man, I don't know where to begin with this. I don't want to be doom and gloom. I don't want to be that guy. There are still some positives to this team. However, I got to touch on the negatives as well. So brace yourself. I don't mean to sound doom and gloom, but I also am not very excited about what I saw on Saturday. Now, all that being said, I will say that it's always a good thing, in my opinion, when you can play a game like that. You're truly tested for the first time. Things don't look right. Things aren't going right, especially in the second half, and you still find a way to win. It's it's best case scenario. If you're going to have problems and things that you need to correct and things that you can't really know you need to correct until you're in that situation, it's always better to get the win, right? And then learn your lesson with a win instead of a loss. But that being said, yikes. The run game started out strong and then fell apart in the second half. The offense just completely came off the wheels in the second half. It was just another game where it felt like Harbaugh went ultra conservative. That's what he does, and it drives me crazy. But he went ultra conservative, and Rutgers made adjustments, and Michigan didn't offensively. I feel like Michigan still did a pretty solid job defensively. They did their job, and I guess that's where I'll start actually this time. Usually I start with the offense, but this time I'm going to start with the defense. I got to give a shout out to the defensive unit. Good job. Way to get it done. Mike McDonald, you're the MVP for this game, because honestly, it is very concerning to me that this Michigan team has to put that much pressure on the defense and a defensive coordinator that's never called plays before. And they're basically asking him, hey, our offense is so broken, we need you to win the game for us. We need you to stop them because we can't score any more points. That's very alarming to me. How is your offense that bad? How? I mean, it's mind-blowing to me that the defense looks better. It was the defense that was getting torched last year. You got a brand new defensive coordinator. You got a defensive coordinator who's never called plays before, and somehow the defensive unit looks that much better than the offense. I don't get it. This offense is broken. It's been broken for a while. I don't know what else to say. Harbaugh, his teams have never played loose. They've never played free. They're always, especially the quarterbacks, always playing like he can't turn the ball over. He can't take any risks, because if he turns the ball over, that's going to be a super bad thing. And yes, turning the ball over is a bad thing, but there is a fine line you have to straddle between playing so tight and so scared that you're not even willing to throw the ball, as opposed to being so loose and free with it that you're throwing it into bad spots. There's a fine line in the middle there that Michigan has never been able to find. I've got to think that stems from, excuse me, the head coach and the leadership at the top, because even though the players change, they come out and play the same way. That tells me it's a head coach issue. He plays ultra conservative, he plays super tight, and he calls games super tight, and his players follow suit. It's that simple. So it's alarming. We're seeing all the same ugly things rear their head that have in the past. At least I think I am. But I wanted to start with the defense because I had to give them a shout out, because really the fact that we put it on their shoulders to win this game is mind-blowing to me. It's alarming. It's ultra concerning. It's everything it shouldn't be. These guys have been in this offense for a while. The offensive system has been in place for going into what is now the third year. They should be the ones carrying the team. The fact that you're putting it on the shoulders of your defense, like I said, in a brand new defensive scheme with a brand new defensive coordinator who's never called plays. I mean, I just can't. If that doesn't tell Harbaugh that something is broken offensively, especially with the play calling, then nothing's going to, and we're in for another long season, I'm afraid. Sorry, I'm getting doom and gloom. I know I said I didn't want to go there, but man, it's a lot of the same old, same old. It's a lot of the same problems. Michigan finally gets into a game against a Big Ten team where things start to tighten up and stiffen up, and the second half was just atrocious. Maybe one of the worst halves I've ever seen from any football team ever. So many 3-and-outs. It was insane. I don't know how they won this game. Basically, it was just Rutgers shooting themselves in the foot and our defense stepping up and making a play at the end. That's what won the game. Our offense was just dreadful in the second half. The offense was non-existent. It's frustrating. The defensive line, I thought, had a bit of an up and down game. Aiden Hutchinson continues to look good, but somebody else has got to step up. It can't be Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Ross all the time. And that was another thing that I thought was, I mean, kudos to the defense for stepping up, because Josh Ross got hurt. He was out of the game for, especially in the second half. He never came back. And again, for the defense to rise up, put the team on their shoulders and say, all right, our offense just isn't getting the job done. We're going to stop Rutgers from scoring so we can preserve this lead that we built in the first half and get this W. I mean, kudos to those guys. Great job. Defensive line, things that they need to improve on is just really shutting down the run more consistently. They had their moments, but every now and then they just get stuck on blocks, and the running back's able to pick up too many yards. They're able to get into our defensive backs, and that's never a good thing. The defensive line's got to be a little stiffer at the point of attack on occasion and just be more consistent. Overall, I thought they played a pretty nice game, but if they could get a little more consistent, then they'd really turn into a dominant force. Linebacker play was good, but fairly quiet. It was really good when Ross was in there. I mean, you saw how important Ross is to this defense, because when he was out, this defense was not the same. We didn't have the same playmaker ability at the linebacker position. And, yeah, just it didn't have the same look. It didn't have the same feel. You lost your leader on the field. He's the play caller, so that can hurt. Good job by the defense for to sticking with it and continuing to play hard, even though they lost arguably one of their better players. The corners still got beat too often, especially early in the game. Jamon Green, learn how to locate the football, man. I know it was a back shoulder throw, and those are tough to defend. But he actually turned his head to try to find the ball in time to be able to find it. He just had no clue where it was. So our corners are still playing pretty soft and getting beat early and often. So I'd like to see them really tighten up coverage and just stick with your man, or, you know, if you're in a zone, look to make a break on the ball, something. Because right now they're still getting torched enough that it is concerning to me. Because honestly, they haven't really played great wide receivers or offenses to this point. And to be getting burned like that against, I would say, talent that is not as good as what you're going to see throughout the season, that's a concern. I thought our safeties played pretty well. A few miscues every now and then. But overall, I think the unit looks pretty good. Dax Hill continues to look really nice, making some plays. So overall, I thought that the defense was the MVP of this one. They're really the reason we were able to hold on to that lead. And they were able to win the game. Offense, boy. I mean, the run game started out good, and then Rutgers was really selling out to stop the run, and we just continued in the second half to try to pound the ball right up the middle. What happened to the play calling? We quit running counters. We quit running stretch plays. We were literally just running dive plays. And not only were we just running dive plays, we were only running Corum. Did Haskins get hurt or something? Haskins was the guy that started the game, and I thought he looked really good. Here I was singing his praises in the pre-game video, and he came out and he was hammering the ball. He got the touchdown, and he only got about half the amount of carries as Corum did. I understand that Corum is the more explosive player, but honestly, Haskins and Corum should be closer to an even 50-50 split. Like I said in my pregame, everything Haskins does makes things easier and sets things up for Blake Corum to have big runs. So please leave Haskins in the game. Stop taking him out and riding Corum so hard. You're going to want Corum's legs later in the year anyways. So get that. They're both proven backs. They're both capable. I know Haskins isn't the big play guy, but man, when he's hammering into linebackers and defensive backs, that takes its toll, especially over the course of a game. But that's never going to work if you play him a lot early and then just go away from him completely. How's he going to wear anybody down if he's not on the field ever? So that should have been closer to a 50-50 split. Blake Corum had 21 carries. Haskins only had 12. That's not enough. Haskins needs more. If you want to be a ground and pound team, then why are you not playing Haskins? Either accept the fact that you're going to be a ground and pound team and you're not going to score on a lot of big plays, or you need to entirely change your offense. There's literally no reason to keep Haskins out of the game that much, in my opinion. I know Corum's your big play guy, but Haskins, like I said, everything he does sets up to make Corum's job easier, and it sets things up for Corum to have those big plays. And the fact that they just didn't run him very much, especially in the second half, I thought that was a mistake from the coaching perspective. He should be getting more carries. The offensive line did the best they could, but like I said, in the first half, you saw it, right? The run blocking was still good. Everybody was doing their job. But when you are outmanned because they're bringing everybody into the box because your passing game is so pitiful that they're not even scared of it at all. This is Rutgers, for crying out loud. Yeah, I know they're improved a little bit, but they're not that far removed from the team that had a hard time winning in the Big Ten. I mean, Michigan clearly still has more talent on the field. And the fact that they're able to just leave their corners out there one-on-one on an island and just say, well, we're not worried about it, that's a big concern. So I thought the offensive line did good. They started out the game great, but in the second half, I can't really put it on them because the play calling was awful, and you're not doing anything to help those guys out. They're just outnumbered in the box. That's super frustrating as an offensive lineman to be stuck in there knowing that you're running a dive play for the 500th time, knowing the defense knows that you're running, that dive play for the 500th time. They're bringing both safeties into the box, and your coach is asking you to somehow block more guys than you could possibly ever block. So that's on the coaching. Coaching is a major concern. Wide receivers, I don't even know how to grade them at this point because I don't know how much of it is without actually sitting down and watching any film of the game. I don't know how much is how much is Cade McNamara's fault and how much is on the wide receivers. I keep pointing to the wide receivers to, win a one-on-one matchups. Whoever that guy is that's going to be one-on-one, win your matchup. And honestly, in this game, from what I saw, I felt like they did a pretty good job of that. As a unit, somebody was usually getting open, and Cade McNamara just kept throwing it in the dirt. Cade McNamara had a terrible game, in my opinion. So I don't really know how to grade them without, really dissecting a film on the game. I would say they were probably average. I feel like they did win some matchups, and McNamara either didn't find them, or if he did find them, he didn't get the ball to him consistently. So take it for what it's worth. Yeah, the group isn't where I think they should be. I mean, your offensive coordinator is also your wide receivers coach. You'd think these guys would be better. They're not. I think that says a lot about where Josh Gaddis is at and why he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't have been brought back. I don't know. I get frustrated watching Michigan. Offensively, I don't know how your offense can be this bad. It's mind-blowing to me. The talent's there. You have speed on the outside. We're doing nothing to try to utilize that speed. No screen passes were called. No end-arounds were called. And we saw success from those in previous games, and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. It's like Josh Gaddis has a giant brain fart, and he forgets that he even has those plays in his playbook. It's happened ever since Josh Gaddis has gotten there. I don't know why that is. He just completely forgets about stuff that's in his own playbook. I have no idea. I don't have the answer for it. I felt like Rutgers really would have been susceptible, especially in the second half, to trying to sweep, do some jet sweeps and get to the edge, run some screen passes because they had everybody inside. Where is the play action? Where's the play action? You're not helping your quarterback and wide receivers be successful with this awful play calling. Cade McNamara, it's got to be better. Yeah, I love the fact that you're a good leader. I love your poise in the pocket. I love everything about you except when you have to throw the football. And that's not good. Your quarterback needs to be more than that. And if he can't get the job done, play the freshman. Everybody's seen the arm talent that McCarthy has. Let him get in there. Let him take some lumps. You've got a great run game. This is a perfect time to play a freshman quarterback. You shouldn't have to put the game on his shoulders. You know what I mean? But you also have to have a quarterback in there that can make the defense think twice about pressing everybody. And Cade McNamara's proven he's not that guy. He puts no fear into the defense. They're not afraid of him dotting one down the sideline on him deep. There's no fear there. He missed two wide open receivers late in the second quarter, right before halftime, that were both wide open for a touchdown. Missed them both. I don't know how he missed Shoemaker in the back of the end zone there. And then throughout the second half, he's throwing it into the dirt and missing guys on, out routes and hitches. And it can't happen. That's your starting quarterback. He's got to be better. I don't care if he's the greatest leader in the world. If he can't make plays happen, he's no good to you. Put him in the film room with J.J. McCarthy and have him teach McCarthy how to be the starting quarterback. That's what that guy's good for. Put him on the sideline and have J.J. McCarthy, when he's struggling, go talk to him, because clearly he's got a good head for football. But right now, where's the passing? Again, part of it's the coaching, so I don't want it to feel like I'm really railing on Cade McNamara. It's not that this team doesn't do good things. Cade McNamara is a great leader. Cade McNamara is a great game manager. But that's not going to be enough throughout the Big Ten schedule. It's just not. If Rutgers can step up in the second half and shut down your run game, what's Wisconsin going to do this coming weekend? I don't even I don't even want to get into that right now. Oh man, sending shivers up the spine. But that's my breakdown of the game. It wasn't good enough. It's not good enough. This team is not going to... Everybody's talking about how they have a chance to beat Ohio State. Did I miss something? I don't see it. You barely beat Rutgers at home in a game that you basically had put away in the first half and then let them back in it with a god-awful worst half of football I've ever seen in the second half to close out that game. And this passing game is atrocious. From a scheme standpoint, from a play calling standpoint, it's terrible. It's not good. It's not where it needs to be. So I said I didn't want to be doom and gloom, but I don't see any other way to see this game. This is all the same stuff that has plagued Harbaugh in these last few years. That's why he almost lost his job and probably should have after last season. It's all the same problems. So it's very concerning. There are some good things to this team. The run game looked great in the first half, when Rutgers didn't just figure out that they could sell out to stop it. So if they could ever develop any sort of a passing game that at least keeps the defense honest, they're in a good position. But until that happens, you're really going to have to grind games out. And that's a tough position to put your defense in with a brand new defensive coordinator who's never called plays before. I personally wouldn't want to do that. That would not be my choice coming into this game, but it speaks volumes about where Josh Gaddis is at, I think, that you can't rely on him and his offense to get the job done. That's concerning. So, the defense overall, like I said, looks good. I like the play calling defensively still. I thought it was pretty good. A few things missed here and there. I feel like when they put that, I can't think of his name now. Basically he's a Wildcat quarterback. We had a hard time stopping him, especially on 3rd and shorts. That is generally a difficult play to stop, anyways. But it is important for Michigan to learn how to stop that, because Ohio State traditionally has done stuff like that. You're going to run into teams that do those sort of things, so it's important to learn how to stop it. Again, it is a very good thing that you can get this stuff on film and show your guys where you're messing up. This is the stuff we need to fix. And we came away, and talking to the team as a coach, we came away with the win, but we also need to fix XYZ. So when a team is in position like that to, grind out a tough one, to really realize you're not where you need to be yet, to get that evidence on film, to learn a lot from a game like this, and come away with the win. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So I know it's going to sound like I'm very negative in this video, but it's all been praise for Michigan. Oh, they're back. Oh, they're going to compete for the Big Ten. So I had to come out and say, you know, I had to point to the negatives and say, hold the horses here, because based on what I saw against Rutgers, they are not competing for the Big Ten championship. It's not going to happen. There's no way that you can run through the schedule that you have this season and expect to win those games with an offense as one-dimensional as that. It's just not going to happen. You're going to lose a game or two or three. It's just the way that the Big Ten is. So, you know, it is what I would point to really bring home the point here. I would point to Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a team that pounds the football. That's basically what Michigan is trying to do this year. Wisconsin's best years are when they have a quarterback that can keep the defense honest. Even Wisconsin, who has run this same offense for years and years and years, even Wisconsin struggles in seasons when they don't have a quarterback that can keep the defense honest. That's just the nature of college football these days. You got athletes all over the field. You cannot expect, and the talent is so dispersed now that you can't expect to just line up and hammer the football down somebody's throat thinking, well, I got the better players on my team. Clearly we should win. It doesn't work like that anymore. There's too much talent spread all over the country, and you've got to have a more dimensional offense. And so I would point to Wisconsin's down years as a barometer of where Michigan is probably at right now. And if they don't find somebody that can step up at the quarterback position and at the wide receiver position and really hurt the defense by throwing the football, then they're in for a long year, and it's probably not going to go very well. So those are my takes on the game. Sorry it's pretty negative and doom and gloom. I don't want to be the sky is falling kind of guy, because honestly, this stuff is fixable. Do I think it's going to be fixed? Not really, because Josh Gaddis is still there, and he's the focal point of the problem, because his offensive game plan and play calling and scheme is just not good. And it hasn't been good the entire time he's there. I don't see that magically getting better unless Harbaugh makes a change, which isn't likely to happen. So I guess the good side is that it is fixable, and I still think Michigan's going to win a lot of games this year. I do not think right now that they are at competing for the Big Ten championship. So it sounds a lot of negative. It sounds doom and gloom. It sounds like the sky is falling. I don't mean to make it sound like that. This team is not that bad. They're not really that far away from being a really good team, but a lot of the problems that they have are still the ones that have plagued them over the past 2 or 3 years. So they're going to have to get it corrected, and they're going to have to do it quickly, because this Big Ten schedule is not getting any easier for them. So that's it. That's what I got. Take it for what it's worth. I guess we'll just have to see how the rest of the season goes. So remember, all love, all the time. Peace.